What is going on, my friends? Today, I'm showing you what I believe is the best center build in NBA 2K25. I've posted a couple polls recently asking you guys, what game mode do you guys play? You guys play random rec, rec with friends, park, theater, pro-am? What do you play? Almost 70% of you, maybe more, said that you guys played rec or some form of rec, whether it's random rec or rec with friends. So then I thought I'd ask you guys, what's the best position to be in rec with friends or random rec by yourself? And you guys all said center. So I wanted to make a build that I think you guys should be making for the random rec, for the rec, because center is the best position to be in Pro-Am. You really can't get ignored by teammates if you play by yourself. You know, you're controlling the pace of play, you're getting rebounds, you're throwing deep bomb outlets, and you're guarded by a center, and a center is very slow. So you are able to get a lot of open jump shots from outside with a stretch 5. Now, I strategically made the dimensions the way I did for very specific reasons. We want to be as big as possible while still maintaining good shooting and good vertical, and I'll explain that as we get this thing going. But let's go into the physicals. Keep in mind, when I'm showing you guys builds, unless I make it clear that it's not because of, or it's not a vet 2 build, I'm designing these builds based off of 14 cap breakers. So use this build as a blueprint for you. If you have 9 cap breakers, you know, tune it to your liking. If you have 14 cap breakers like myself, you know, I think this is the best build in the game. If you have maybe what, 5, maybe 8, whatever kind of cap breakers, you know, tune it to your liking. Just use this as a blueprint for the build if you don't really like what I made. Anyways, 68, 56 agility, 91 strength, 83 vertical. We will talk about cap breakers at the end. You're gonna have a 94 O board and a 90 D board. Combination of a 94 and a 90 board with an 83 vertical, 7'6" wingspan is unbelievable. It's about as good as it can get for a center in NBA 2K25. Rebounding at the center position is very, very important. It's probably the most important part of the center. Obviously, you're by far the best rebounder, and that's what you should do. I don't think you should be going into any game of 2K in the random rec or the rec or whatever with a center and not have 99 boards. So that is where we're going to have our first 5 cap breakers here. Block, you're going to have a 78. Steal, you're going to have a 60. Okay. Perimeter, perimeter, you're going to have a 62. And interior, you're going to have a 74. I've played a lot of rec, all right? I've played a lot of rec, and I do think that the interior is more than enough. You don't come across many centers that play back to the basket, post control, upper 90s, and just dominating. His teammates will not let him do that. I swear to you. If you know what you're doing, you're going to be able to play very solid down low defense. I think block is probably the most overrated attribute in 2K. I think it has been for years. Whether you have a 78 block or a 90 something block, it feels just about the same to me. I have builds with 90 plus block. I have a build with less than this block right here, and it all feels the same. It's kind of like pass accuracy to me. But nonetheless, it is something that I think you should have on a center build for the times where you do get blocks. Not saying that you can't get blocks. It's just keep it at 78. 78 feels no different than 84, and 84 is a nice little spot too. But when it's all said and done, we can't really afford that. Pass accuracy is going to be a 91. Eventually, we are going to have cap breakers on this to have break starter on Hall of Fame. Anything above a 93 pass is overkill, in my opinion, at the center position. At some point, I'm going to make a video on my inside center build that has 98 pass. And I was really excited for that. And it's not anywhere near as good as I thought it would be. But that's okay. I wouldn't change it at all, but knowing what I know now, it's just a bit disappointing. So 93 pass seems like a very, very good spot for elite passing at the center position, which having that 93 pass on this build in particular is going to be really, really good. Free throw is going to be at an 88. That's the most we could afford when everything was said and done. 77 3, 84 midi. You don't get any extra badges from 78 to 84. It just gives you, you know, this is the best shooting that you can have at 7'6" wingspan. I wanted to give you guys a build that You could mess around with jump shots way easier than, you know, if you had max wingspan and had, you know, 80 midi and 74 3. This will give you flexibility to kind of play around with your shooting. You know, you're still going to have Deadeye. You're still going to have set shot. We are 1 away from Deadeye Silver. I just don't think you need that at 7 feet tall. You would be pretty surprised how little you get contested, especially because the person that's going to be closing out on you the most is going to be a center as well. So the shooting is plenty here. I really have no complaints about the shooting there. I only went with an 81 standing dunk, 73 driving dunk, strictly for posterizer. And then I went up to a 90 close shot here. In one of the videos I've talked about recently, I talked about underrated badges and overrated badges. And in one of those videos, I was talking about the RNG. RNG is just insane when it comes to layups. Paint Prodigy being the same thing. Close shots. You can have player percentage on, real player percentage on, and you can hit tight contested shots. You can hit strong contested shots. Dunking, you're not nearly catching as many bodies this year as you were last year. That's for standing dunks and driving dunk. I'm not saying that you can't. Obviously, I understand, you know, if you had 90 standing dunk, you're going to be able to dunk on a lot of people. But you have to be like directly underneath the basket to really trigger a good animation like that. Whereas your close shot, you know, you can be smothered and hit it. So cap breakers for this build, you're going to put 2 on your Paint Prodigy. So you're going to have 92 close shot. You're going to put 2 on your pass. You're going to get Break Starter on Hall of Fame. And then you're going to get Dimer on Hall of Fame as well. I would badge +1 Break Starter potentially to get that to Legend. You could also badge +1 your Rise Up to Gold, or badge +1 your Paint Prodigy to Hall of Fame. Those are all very, very valid options for your tier 1 badge +1s. 5 cap breakers will go on my my offensive rebound for 99, and then 5 is going to go on my strength because I want 96 strength for box out beast on Hall of Fame, or box out beast on Legend, and brick wall on Hall of Fame. Now that's 5, 10, 12, 14. For the people that may not have that many cap breakers, I think strength at 91 is more than enough. Because if you're getting strength in random rec or rec with your friends, unless you're playing a big old pick and roll offense, you know, you're not going to want brick wall too high. In the random rec, no one really knows how to use a ball screen. I'm very sorry to say that to those guards that, you know, maybe you're watching this and you run a lot of rec and you think you are good in the pick and roll. I'm going to take a wild guess and say you probably aren't, and I'm so sorry. I still love you to death, but no one knows how to use a ball screen, and if they dribble for too long, your teammates get mad. Rec is an awesome place, so you can honestly leave that there, still put 5 here, 2 here, and then another 2 or 4 here if you really wanted to. I don't know what you need for Paint Prodigy on Hall of Fame. 96, like that's definitely something you could do. Let's say that you haven't hit vet 2, but you've hit level 40 every time. I would just go 5 here, 2 here, which is 7, and then just upgrade this as you get closer to vet 2 and the end of the season cap breakers, because the pass is going to be a lot more beneficial than the close shot. Or you could put your close shot up and just take my word that Break Starter is the only good badge that you get at center, and you can kind of just roll with that at gold as well. But nonetheless, this is still the build that I would go with here. Like I said, I do think this is the best overall center build in the game, not just for random rec and rec like a lot of people that are subscribed to this channel play, but if you play like Pro-Am, you know, I think this build is as good as it can get for that mode as well at the center spot. You can stretch the floor, rebound, high strength, you can finish down low, you can literally do everything on this build. Center builds are pretty black and white when it comes to what you're able to do. If you want to shoot, you know, you're just not going to be as good down low. and vice versa. If you don't want to be as good down low, you're going to be a little bit more well-rounded. So best center build in the game, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. Subscribe if you are new. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. You guys have been showing a lot of love recently. March so far is on pace to be this channel's best month since I created it back in November of 23, I believe. So really appreciate the love recently. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Peace.